Welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless podcast, coming to you as always high above the streets of northern New Jersey at ANJ Media. Yes, New Jersey, where the title of the quirkiest town in New Jersey is Camden. Camden, New Jersey. Poetry lovers will know Camden, New Jersey is home to Walt Whitman's house and his tomb, and it's home to some of the quirky museums as well. The Soup Tureen Museum. It's also home to the best aquarium in the state, where kids love to pet starfish and small sharks up close and even watch giant hippos swim. Well, Andrew, have you ever been to Camden?
Yes, John.
And what did you do in Camden? Did you do any of these fun things that were quirky?
I left, John.
You left Camden. Okay. We love people in Camden. Okay. It's right across the Delaware River from my hometown area, Philadelphia. Okay. All right, let's get started here. I'm your host, Jon Horovitz, founder and president of Atrium Unlimited Consulting. Our guest today is a visionary entrepreneur and seasoned product management leader with over 2 decades of experience driving innovation and operational excellence in the telecommunications and technology sectors. As co-founder and CEO of CIXCI, Alexander Phillips spearheaded the development of groundbreaking SaaS solutions tailored to the wireless industry, revolutionizing how MVNOs and wireless carriers sell accessories. His vision is to empower these businesses to stay competitive by eliminating the complexities of fulfillment and logistics, reducing internal costs, and driving increased revenue and average revenue per unit, or what we call ARPU. Before founding CIXCI, Alexander held pivotal roles at Nextel, Sprint, and T-Mobile, where he made significant contributions to accessory and product visibility and system integrations. He played a key role in launching accessories across multiple channels and collaborated closely with accessory vendors to enhance online visibility and attach rates. With a background in business analysis, logistics, and software implementation, Alexander excels in aligning technical strategies and business goals. Passionate about leveraging technology to solve real-world challenges, he is committed to fostering high-performance teams and building strategic partnerships that enable businesses to thrive in competitive markets. Boy, that sounds exactly what I do, too. Please join me in welcoming to our broadcast today, Alexander Phillips. Alexander, how are you today?
Hey, John, I'm doing great. If I was doing any better, I'd need a twin, so I cannot complain.
Well, you're all over the place. I thought you had a twin, so it's good to see you. I think you're coming to us today from beautiful Leesburg, Virginia.
That I am. Enjoying this cold weather and a little bit of snow.
Well, that's it is January, and I spent 3 years in Northern Virginia, and question all the time, why am I still in New Jersey? Because it's quirky. Okay, let's jump into it. Accessories is a very, very important and sometimes overlooked product. One that retailers and online companies make a lot of money on, and it's an area that I think needs further discussion on how to capitalize on this, because everybody has an accessory for their phone, and we're going to talk about the different types of accessories that you can get. But before we do that, tell us about your history and your experience in the world of accessories.
As you said, I started at Nextel. From there, went from Sprint to T-Mobile, but it was all through the mergers. And during my time, I was mainly part of the accessory team. I handled everything from launching new products on our .com site, working with indirect dealers, doing compatibility for Boost Mobile and Virgin, working with sales reps. So I was more of the back end, handling whatever it needed to be done regarding selling accessories. I did that for close to 2 decades. Loved it. Met some fantastic people, the vendors, seeing the great products coming out. I tell a lot of people, I started when the phone was a leather case, a buckle that spun, and earbuds. That's when I started in the accessory business, the Nextel phone. And then as e-commerce started to grow, a lot of more popular cases, products started to come out. And my love for the business, just grew from there.
Well, it's amazing that we never met, because I spent 7 years in Nextel up here in the New York market, and then went to Boost Mobile and was there for 3 years, and then that was owned by Sprint at the time. And then I think I
Right.
had a cup of coffee with T-Mobile after the merger. So, so you survived 3 and I didn't, those
Yeah,
mergers.
yeah. My survival stopped right when when everything kind of became official between T-Mobile and Sprint.
Well, it looks like that experience has served you well as you conceived and founded CXC, which is spelled, by the way, CIXCI, but it's CXC, which I've learned over the time. So why don't you give our listeners and viewers an overview of
Sure.
CXC?
Sure. CXE is a cloud-based application that streamlines the B2B process between wireless carriers, MVNOs, and accessory vendors. One of the things that I've learned, during my 2 decades was that as the industry started to grow, meaning e-commerce, that competitive edge that the wireless carrier had started to decline.
Mm-hmm.
Consumers would come on our website, our retail store, buy their device, buy their rate plan, but go somewhere else to buy accessories because we didn't have the portfolio that matched what they were looking for. And that never changed for the past 2 decades. It's always been the same. So I took what I've learned in the industry and I was like, okay, there has to be a better way of doing a business. We knew that accessory vendors wanted to expand their product reach. We knew that wireless carriers and MVNOs wanted to be competitive in selling accessories, but there was no bridge between the two to make that happen. So what we've done is we've built a cloud-based application that streamlines that process. We allow accessory vendors to expand their product reach into multiple MVNOs, wireless carriers, and we also allow wireless carriers and MVNOs to be able to sell accessories online and through a point-of-sale system without worrying about the hassle of fulfillment and logistics of selling accessories.
Well, you also, from my understanding, and you and I have known each other now for a year or two,
mm-hmm.
with no carrying cost.
No carrying cost. No.
On the inventory. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is out of the box thinking. And I want to dig into that a little bit with you today to see how some of our listeners out there that are looking for new opportunities and new solutions to solve this accessory thing. Now, let's go talk about what retailers expect their salesperson to do when selling a phone. The rule of thumb is, and I've talked about this before on this platform, is that you want that person behind the counter to sell about $100 worth of accessories with each handset that goes out the door. Is that still correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's about right because the customers are going to spend it anyway. I add to that, as long as they know what's available to them. You know what I mean? Because that's the biggest thing. I tell everybody, if you take the Walmart Target analogy, you go in, you have a list of 3 or 4 things that you go in. Then once you walk into the store, it's like, oh, I didn't know they had that. I didn't know they had that. So you may have gone in for 3 or 4 things, but you come out with 8. So that's the analogy that, when you're selling accessories, it should be no different. If the sales rep has access to not just what they have in inventory, but what is truly out there in the market, they're more likely to increase that attach rate when that customer comes in and is looking for particular accessories. So that's what we wanted to build that into our application to allow sales reps and even online, giving the consumer the option to say, okay, this is what I want. And the sales rep being able to say, okay, this is what we have access to.
So today I walk into a store, not a big box retailer, but one of the either branded or non-branded retail locations, and I purchase a new handset. And on the slat wall, which again is limited space, there are accessories. There are cases. There's screensavers. There's other kind of things.
Chargers, yeah.
But chargers. But there's nothing there that I like.
Right.
So before you came along, would I go home, go on Amazon or somewhere and buy my accessories?
Well, there's 2 options. There are several options. So if you look at the current business model now, if they're working with a distributor, and then you're really doing that, what they have in stock. So that may be, depending on how many vendors they have, you're still limited to what they have access to. And then if they're not working with one, yeah. And if they're bringing it in-house, then most likely the consumer is going to take that phone that sales rep just activated, go on a website and order the accessories for the phone that the sales rep should have accessories access to. So that both business models kind of push the consumer to go elsewhere to shop because of the inventory access. And we looked at it to say, let's remove that and give the sales rep access to everything, because you don't know what your consumers want.
So you've got 30 accessories on the wall, and then does the salesperson have a tablet or a computer where they show, I just bought an iPhone 16 or the new Samsung? Do they go online and show them the hundreds of accessories that are available?
Well, I guess it really depends on what their point of sale system is because what we're focused on is not adding on to it, because again, most of these retailers are looking to reduce costs. So we don't want to say, okay, now you got to purchase this and purchase this. So if you have a point of sale system where you have access to whatever their current inventory is or whatever they're working with a distributor is, we're saying we're going to tie into that and give you access to everything. So it's all going to be in-housed in whatever their point of system is. And that way they can, it kind of cuts cost and allows them to see whoever we're connected with as vendors and how they create their portfolio. That's what they have access to.
And so I buy my 2 or 3 accessories through your platform.
Mm-hmm.
How long till I get them at my home or office? We're
focused on a 2 to 3 day turnaround. From basically, we're not changing, we're not adding on to it. We've set up, where that information gets to where it needs to get to, and there's a quicker turnaround. So that is our focus.
What other key issues are facing the retailer today when selling accessories? Is it that they want specialized type accessories? And I want to talk a little bit later in the broadcast about customized accessories, as you and I had a conversation earlier this week. I know that the store managers and the owners of the chains are asking or demanding that the salespeople do sell X amount, and I get $100, give or take a few, is the magic number. And I think you get there very quickly with a screensaver, a case, and either a charger for the home or one for the car. What when you talk to the dealers and listen to their concerns, what are some of their issues today with accessory sales?
Well, I think it comes to several things. If you're looking at a dealer that has a strong online presence, okay, the biggest thing right there is the process of selling accessories, because you know that you either have to bring them in-house or you have to work with a distributor to do that. And by doing so, you have to spend a certain amount of money in order to sell accessories. When you have that kind of business model, that limits to what you can offer your consumers, because that's based off of what your budget is, not what you have access to. And it's the same thing with retail. If you look at, you can go into the store and I'm just going to use this as a, kind of keynote here, is that you're limited to your colors. The most common colors are black and clear. That's your safe space. You know what I mean? That I have a 50-50 shot that I'm going to sell a black and clear case.
And if I say I'd like purple, I don't see purple here.
You don't see
take
purple.
Me over to, well, you can take me over in your platform to the computer or tablet, right, and I can buy a purple.
Yeah, because again, right, based off of that, it's because you got to look at it this way. If they have a point of sale system, and most retailers do, where their sales rep is working on the tablet and stuff like that, just turn the tablet to them, show them what you have in stock. That business model itself is standard throughout, because again, you're still tapping into the inventory. What we're trying to give these retailers is, if you're carrying inventory for that particular purpose, why? Because there's no need to. If you have access to the inventory from the vendor, then it's really not something that you should be doing. And the same thing for the online presence. There's really no need to bring in inventory to sell products online, because it's, you don't know what your consumers want. You want to offer variety. And like you said, the whole purpose is when you buy your device, that is the prime time to sell accessories. So being able to sell a case, a screen protector, a purple case that you don't sell, a screen protector and a charging block, because your phone doesn't come with a charging block anymore. So to be able to have those things, and then being able to add some type of charging station or other items that you can attach to your phone, if the consumer doesn't know it's available, they're not going to purchase. But the moment they start seeing what they have access to, it's when that attach rate goes up and they spend a little bit more, because they will spend the money on accessories.
Right. That's proven.
Yeah.
And I think we glossed over it quickly a few minutes ago. There is no carrying cost for the retailer, whether he's brick and mortar or whether he's 100% online or a mixture of both. How does that work? So at the end of the month, I've sold my chain, or my store has sold $6,000 worth of retail accessories. How does the economics work there?
Well, basically, what we've done is we've set it up so we'll send an invoice to the end at the end of the month to the retailer. They pay that invoice, we pay the vendors. Again, simplifying the whole process. You don't want to make it complicated, because again, it doesn't. We're in an age with technology and everything else where I tell people the business model of yesterday doesn't fit the consumers of today. Consumers want options. They will spend the money on accessories. They want to know what's available. And, vendors don't create a great portfolio of accessories for a retailer to only sell 2 SKUs. Now, that's still profit. I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying give the consumers the option to be able to do what you want. To be able to have access to what they want. So going back to your question, it is just, we simplify the process to say, okay, this is what you have access to. You sell it. We send you an invoice. You pay the invoice. We take care of the rest.
Excuse me. I put the money in my register, and traditionally the margins on accessories are very high.
Very high. Yes.
Ballpark. 60,
I have vendors that, you're looking at, 70% margin on accessories, and that's the other thing too. It's looking at what's going to make the most bang for the buck. There are vendors out there that have some amazing products with great margins, and it's being able to introduce those to the industry to say, okay, these are some products that you can look at or, download into your system to be able to sell. So the margins are pretty high.
So in a vacuum, if I sell $100 worth of accessories to a customer in one day, and the average margin is 65%, I put $100 in the register. End of the month, I get an invoice from you, and I owe you $35, but I've already made my money, and I had zero inventory cost.
Correct.
No handling, no space, nothing.
Nothing.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
When did you realize, with all your experience, that you had this tremendous opportunity to offer wireless accessories through this platform? What was that aha moment? What happened where you said, "Wow, this could work"?
I think it's actually started when I was still I'm still in the industry, but when I was working, you know what I mean? And I think one of the things that I share this story a lot was, I've been very fortunate to be part of a great team when I was, at Sprint. And I would be part of those meetings where the vendors would come in, the new phone is launching, they would sit at the desk, our table, the PM project manager was there, whether it be cases, headphones, or whatever. And they would lay out there, this is what we're launching for the new iPhone or new Samsung. And it was, we'd pick, the vendor would have 6 different colors for the same SKU. Our project manager would say, I want that one and that one. Next vendor, I want that one and that one. Next vendor, that one. And so it was consistent, but there was one thing that was always consistent about this process. I would want the black and the clear. I want the black and the clear. But you had 6 to 7 different SKUs to pick from. And then my aha moment was when I was coming out of a meeting and I asked the young lady, I said, why do we have the same vendors coming in? You pick the same SKUs. And she goes, let me tell you why. 1, because of inventory. We have to be careful on our inventory. 2, it impacts our bonuses. And 3, it impacts our jobs.
So forget about the customer. It's all about us, right?
Yeah. And again, but they shared, we want to sell more accessories.
Yeah.
But again, you look at the logic of it. I don't know what's really going to capture that audience.
Yeah.
And when you don't know, you just pick the same colors.
So you've basically eliminated the risk.
Right.
If somebody doesn't want a purple case,
don't download it.
Well, don't download it, but don't purchase it and put it in inventory.
Right. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. And that's and especially, again, going with an online approach in a more cloud-based application, you remove that. As the system grows, it learns what people are purchasing. It takes the data analytics and it says, okay, this is what's selling. You pick and choose and you put it into your system and you start selling. There is no risk. And that is the whole purpose of being able to make it more of a streamlined approach for both the accessory vendor and the wireless carrier.
Well, how difficult was it to create this platform and then, bring it to market?
We decided to do it right at COVID. So that was our, one of those moments of, we decided to do it right at COVID. And I think It wasn't difficult because I had an idea. I knew exactly what we were doing to a point of what I wanted to deliver. I wanted to create that win-win environment. But doing it during COVID may not have been the smartest idea, but I guess that's all part of the entrepreneurial journey. You know what I mean? And so we were able to build it. We talked to vendors as we built it. I kind of took my lessons, and I was very fortunate to have project managers. Folks that I worked with before, and I tapped into them from the wireless side. And we just kept on building. We just kept on streamlining and making it more efficient and making it more user-friendly. Bringing it to the market, I think that is one of the hurdles that, not to say that it's a big hurdle, but when the industry for 2 decades is so used to 2 ways of selling accessories, either I bring it in-house or I work with a distributor. That's the only thing I know. I don't know any different. You got to really educate them. They have to be able to unlearn what they know about how to sell accessories and really look at it at a perspective of saying, okay, there is a different way. And we've had great success doing that. But again, it's that I would say is just the process of educating these MVNOs and these wireless carriers that understand the value of selling accessories. It's just, I only know 2 ways of doing it.
Yeah. All right, let's see what this thing does. We're going to pull up one of your target customers, and we have redacted their name, and take a look at what they're doing, and take us through the analytics and explain for this particular retailer, or this is actually an MVNO that we're going to look at, their profit potential. Okay, so talk to me about the traffic analytics of XYZ MVNO here.
So what I did is if you can look at the top left-hand corner, I did 2023. In this day and age, you're looking at a 24-month plan. So if we're looking at 2025, these consumers are most likely going to upgrade, or you're going to have new customers come on board with this particular MVNO. So in 2023, they had 6.8 million visits to their website.
Okay.
We don't know what they did. We just know that they had 6.8 million visits with a purchase conversion of 2.67. With this particular MVNO, they do sell the most recent iPhone and the most recent Samsung. They do, you can bring your own device, and they do, I believe it's eSIM. So they have a variety of options that when you go on the site, you can do with the purchase. So again, with that visit and the purchase conversion, we don't know what they've done. We just know that purchasing is happening on that website.
But they spent 7.5 minutes on average on that website.
On the site.
That's incredible. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of great detail on that site. There's a lot of great information on that site. The only thing they don't have is they don't sell accessories. So the customers are going on that site and they're staying on that site.
Look at the amount of people that are going there. If you look at the chart on the bottom, on their mobile device versus their desktop. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so if you look if you look here at the times that they're going, that right there is, September, that's when the iPhone launches. It spikes. Right. And then, and I believe when I looked at those analytics, it was close to 900,000 folks, or 900,000 visits to that site. The same thing around the January timeframe, it goes up. That's where the Samsung device launches. And then if you look at June, it peaks up again. And that's when another Samsung device launches. So it's showing they have the traffic that goes to their site around when these devices launch.
Okay. So as the retailer, you're explaining all this to me now. I got a 2.7% almost purchase conversion rate. What does this mean to me as a retailer for the profit opportunity?
Perfect. Great question. So if you could bring up the next slide for me, please. Excellent. Thank you. So what we did is we just calculated based off, simple math on calculating the number of purchases. So you take the 6.8 million times it by the 2.67%, and you got 181,560 purchases. Again, we don't know what they purchased. It could be a rate plan with a bring your own device. It could be an eSIM. It could be very well a new purchase of a device with a rate plan.
Okay.
So we take that number, we times it by 30%. So what we're saying here is 30% of that 181,000 are consumers that are upgrading their device in 2025 and new customers to this MVNO. So this is device purchases on that site.
Okay.
Kind of going back to what you had mentioned, with consumers going out the door and spending about when they buy a new device, they do spend over $100 on accessories. I mean, that's just common. But what we did is we said, okay, we're going to really play it down with the numbers. So we're going to say if they just bought a case and a screen protector, and that's all they purchased on this, they had access to a variety of SKUs of different colors, accessories, all so forth, but they only purchased a case and a screen protector, and their profit margin was $40 on that. Then they would make $2.2 million in 2025 selling just a case and a screen protector.
With zero money up front on inventory carrying costs.
Correct.
And I think we all can agree, or you and I can agree, that the $40 is a very, very conservative number.
Correct.
On the profit margin. It's probably more like 60 to 70.
Most likely, yeah.
But
again, that will depend on the vendor. But again, you're looking at just the consumer buying a case and a screen protector. But if they have access to what is currently available from that vendor, they will spend more.
Okay. Wow. That is eye-opening. And I think that our viewers and listeners out there that are in this business and have the opportunity to do a few little software adjustments to their point of sale system, how long does it take to get them integrated with you?
Well, that's going to vary because again, what we'd have to do is sit down with them, see what their system's like, and then really, because when you're dealing with MVNOs that, let's just say, they have an online presence, their tech team may not have one, because they're setting up, so we really have to get an idea of the customer being the MVNO, the wireless carrier, what they're looking to do, and then based off of that, we can then really say, okay, this is their launch time and stuff like that.
I know you've made a lot of dozens of presentations that you and I have talked about with some fairly large customers that our audience would recognize the names. How has their reaction been?
Very positive. Very positive. I mean, one of the things that has been consistent is, it makes sense. And that's what the whole focus is. It just makes sense. Because again, you're taking a process that's been in place for 2 decades. And again, understanding that the customers that we have talked to, they either want to increase their accessory volume or they just want to sell accessories. They want to get to the accessory market. Being able to go this route, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And now the conversations are still going on. Again, going back to what I said before, it's just that development phase. It's that implementation phase of what does that look like? When can they do it? Because when you're an MVNO wireless carrier and you're always selling devices, you're always launching devices, you've got to figure out when you can do it. And it's not if you want to, it's just like when. Because right now, if you think about it, in a couple of weeks, they're going to be launching the announcement for the new Samsung's going to happen.
So that's going to explode the accessory business.
Correct.
As well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Every time there's a new device, it explodes the accessory business. And one of the biggest things that we look at is being able to capture that explosion. When, if you look at it, pre-sale, if you're going to be launching the latest and greatest device, then if you're going to pre-sell your devices, pre-sell your accessories, just have a larger accessory portfolio. I mean, that is already revenue that you can account for because you already know what's going to happen.
Wow.
And that's one of the things that we want to, make sure the MVNOs and carriers are aware of.
So let me get this straight one last time. Retailer or MVNO, both brick and mortar or 100% digital, can expand their offerings tenfold on what they currently have available now. Create a profit and revenue stream, have a zero cost of carrying inventory. What's not to like?
I don't know. That is, again, going back to being in this industry for 2 decades. It's just, I've watched the business and it hasn't changed. It's been the same business model for, since I've been in the business. And when you have, and I've read your articles and I've heard you talk, the MVNO space is growing. You know what I mean? And they're always looking for, how do we become competitive? How do we, reduce costs? How do we increase, all these things. But if you're not selling accessories, I give you this. It's like going to a dealership and buying a car, but the dealer telling you to go somewhere else to buy your tires. it just
well, I think the tires come with it, but maybe the mats.
right. But so that's what I'm saying. But the accessory should come with your
Right.
device.
They
That
should.
is just the
They
common
should.
factor.
Right.
I mean, that's part of the device. So,
Okay.
we wanted to build something that streamlines the process. It makes it more profitable for both sides.
Yeah.
And you ease the pain of selling accessories.
Yeah. Someone, to your point about our business and our industry, someone asked me about it the other day, and I said, it's not going away. It's one of these, I mean, it's not going away. It's growing. I think I have to check my figures again, but I quoted this a couple episodes ago that the MVNO business in the U.S. alone is I think it's like about a $17 billion business, going to be $30 billion in 5 years. And so, it's a great industry to be in. Wow. So how does somebody that's interested in speaking to you and the CIXCI platform get in touch with you?
There's two ways. They can reach me through my website, www.cixci.com, or they can reach me via email at alexander.phillips@cixci.com.
Okay, and both of those are on our screen now, so our listeners, our viewers can see it. And again, that's CIXCI. Alexander, that's terrific. I appreciate you coming on and sharing this exciting new platform with us. And I hope that a lot of our viewers and listeners reach out to you and see how this is going to help their profitability and grow their profitability and revenue streams. Is this limited to the U.S. or do you operate outside the U.S. as well?
We are looking to operate outside of the U.S. One of the things that we are looking at is it's mapping the, getting in touch with vendors and making sure, where they can sell and stuff like that. So we have looked at it. But our focus right now is to capture the U.S. market with a couple of MVNOs, get them up and running and generate some revenue for those guys.
Okay. And hey, look, I have a lot of contacts out there as well. Folks, if you want me to explain this a little bit more or get you in touch with Alexander, you know how to reach me at atriumunlimited.com. And I'd appreciate that. Alexander Phillips, CIXCI. What a great concept. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Stay warm. This is going to wrap up another episode of the Boon of Wireless. We'll see you next time.